Hello everyone, welcome back to yet another political episode. So this video may surprise a lot of you because this was not a video related to Red Eagle posted at all today. After months and weeks and days of contemplating, I have decided that the best way to continue the advancement of this channel is to go off on our own curriculum, our own structure, and our own topics. This means that I will no longer be reviewing Red Eagle's content. For one thing, he is a fellow conservative. It does not make sense to kind of review and kind of debate him because we are aligned on the same side of the political spectrum. It would make more sense to go after review political chatters content. Although he does content that does make zero sense, by the way. And then you have Let's Talk Elections. It makes more sense to go and do videos related to that and what they post, but not Red Eagle. But it's just probably Red Eagle was helpful to help get this channel started, to kind of learn from it. But now we're, of course, 2.5 years in, and we are building subscribers. We're building views, although we have a very little proportionate algorithm on YouTube. We feel that eventually, obviously, we're going to have to move on, and it's better now to swallow the bitter pill now than ever before. A lot of people have called me out, like, why are you doing a lot of Red Eagle video related? Like, Red Eagle did the same thing. You're copying Red Eagle, blah, 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 blah. Well, I don't mean to copy Red Eagle. I use Red Eagle as a reference. I use him as like something that I can, take some points of view. I also use Greg Foreman as a reference, but I get my information from him, and really, I just enjoy taking the takes. But now I've kind of realized that, this is not what normal political influencers do. They don't copy other people. I'm now going to, of course, move on. And that's what we've started today. And that is specifically going to be talking about the Israel-Hamas conflict, specifically in Gaza. A conflict that has just gone so low that all we want now, both sides of the political spectrum, just want peace. We just want peace. And I have, this conflict has just evolved my views over time. At the beginning of this conflict, I was very pro-Israel. But I've learned the hard way that, Israel's not the good guy in this. I hate to offend any of my pro-Israel base, but I've made it clear on this channel, I'm an anti-globalist. I oppose globalism. And basically being against globalism, unless it's Israel, we could send a bunch of money to Israel. No. If you're opposed globalism, you have to oppose all globalism. And I've lost my patience with Israel just for the last couple months, because from it all dwindled down during the invasion of Lebanon exactly a year ago. It was actually a year and 3 days ago. Israel invaded Lebanon. We just had that anniversary, the 1 year anniversary 2 days ago. And I would say to myself, it's Hezbollah, and they're technically joined the war. They attacked Israel. They have a right to attack, blah, blah, blah. But then in December, they attacked Syria, which undergone regime change, as you know, under al-Ashara and his Liberation Front. He's made it clear that he wanted to be aligned with the West and all that stuff, but Israel didn't care. They went in, they took their military, and they invaded without authorization from Washington, which they don't need, but they didn't ask if we were talking with them. They didn't check in or anything. They invaded, and then the peak point for me was when they attacked Qatar, and by killing a Hamas leader, which on paper it sounds great, right? The problem was he was in an allied country of the United States and an allied country of Israel, and they were in the process of negotiations, trying to make peace. And what does Israel do? They interrupt that peace negotiation by killing the Hamas leader. Now, on paper, that's amazing that you killed the leader. Good job, I guess, Israel. But not during peace negotiations. It's like, what are you trying to do? What are you trying to do? And of course, when you have Iran and Israel going at it, this country is clearly a country, a big globalist country. And I'm just tired. I am tired, guys. I am sick and tired of this constant bending of the knee to Israel and helping them on every little thing. It's time to stop the fighting. It's time to stop the fighting. No more. And that's what President Trump is doing, because reportedly Hamas has come out and they're saying we're going to release the hostages. Now, I don't take whatever Hamas says for granted, because then again, one thing our opponents say, the next thing they say the opposite. We saw this with, unfortunately, Russia and Ukraine, which did not end up working out. But we'll try again, probably in the near future. But the importance is that we end this war, because this war, it just goes low to all lows. I mean, let's be honest. I am 100% against what's going on in Gaza right now, folks. It's not a left-wing, right-wing issue. Even Candace Owens can admit it. Israel's screwing up so badly. What is correct and what is true is, yes, Israel is shooting at people that are trying to get food. That's true. Now, does that mean we got to go and protest for Palestine? No. In fact, I'll call out to all you pro-Palestine idiots that run around with the Palestinian flag. You don't care about those Gazans. You don't care. This is a part of your left-wing ideology, because in their mind, the Palestinian Gazan is the struggling working class person. And the Israeli is the right-wing capitalist, anti-communist, anti-socialist, rich country that is trying to rip off or reap the benefits from Palestinians, from the working class Palestinians. In order to fulfill their left-wing agenda, they must stand in solidarity with the Gazans and with the Palestinians and fight the fascist Israelis, who are rich and wealthy and right-wing. So obviously this is clearly their mentality, and you see this. They don't care about genocide, because we see the same people protesting and saying all this stuff. Oh, we gotta save the kids. We gotta save the Gazans. They have Pol Pot paraphernalia and Mao Zedong paraphernalia. All these paraphernalia of these famous killers. Joseph Stalin paraphernalia. Yeah, because and all you were like, what? You don't actually care about the Gazans? Of course they don't care about the Gazans. This is a left-wing agenda. This is a left-wing Marxist agenda. And a left-wing Marxist agenda only. So absolutely, I am 100% against standing in solidarity, quote, quote. I am not pro-Palestine. I will never be pro-Palestine. In fact, I will say that Israel should continue to occupy Palestine. I'll say that. But I'm saying what Israel's doing right now, they are screwing up so badly that a decent human being will at least admit that. They will at least admit that. So I'm hoping that this is done. I want this to be over. This is so stupid. We have Dibbly Dumb 1 and Dibbly Dumb 2, the Israel and Palestine, Beavis and Butthead, can't get along. They don't want a two-state solution. eventually one's going to have to eliminate the other. It's going to be Israel because they have an army. Palestine has terrorist groups. They have Hamas and Hezbollah and the Houthis in Yemen. So it's going to be Israel. And obviously, Iran is not going to let them do it. So I'm done. I am done with this conflict. Let's shut the door and we can worry about it another day. Hamas has reportedly is saying that they're going to release the hostages. That's good news. If they do that, that is a huge win for President Trump. Huge, because we've been trying to get the hostages released on day one. Maybe not really Israel, because Israel's been really focused on trying to get Hamas out. But we've been trying to get the hostages released day one of all this in 2023 in October. And obviously, we got President Trump, who addressed the nation today in regards to the release of the hostages. But there is a catch, which we will talk about in a little bit. But let's listen to President Trump's address to the nation. Okay. Okay, this is being slow.
At Amazon, our employees are an act.
Yeah. I don't understand what's going on. This computer is just so bad.
Average of over $23 an hour.
All right, what are we thinking?
Mega.
Okay, yeah. We'll just wait for this silly ad. But yeah, there's a catch, and we'll be talking about that in a little bit after we listen to President Trump's address, because it's not all what you actually think it is. There's a catch because Hamas is not going to bend the knee completely to the United States in this regard. And we'll kind of get to see what this peace deal, what President Trump is offering on the board anyway. But this is his 1 minute said.
I want to thank the countries that helped me put this together. Qatar, Turkey, Saudi Arabia, Egypt, Jordan, and so many others. So many people fought so hard. This is a big day. We'll see how it all turns out. We have to get the final word down in concrete. Very importantly, I look forward to having the hostages come home to their parents and having some of the hostages, unfortunately, you know the condition they're in, come home likewise to their parents because their parents wanted them just as much as though that young man or young woman were alive. So I just want to let you know that this is a very special day, maybe unprecedented in many ways. It is unprecedented, but thank you all. And thank you all to those great countries that helped. We were given a tremendous amount of help. Everybody was unified in wanting this war to end and seeing peace in the Middle East. And we're very close to achieving that. Thank you all, and everybody will be treated fairly.
Yeah, I mean, that's good. So, but there's a catch to this, because what President Trump doesn't say is that, you know, the time span that Hamas is going to do this is going to be a little bit different. So let's go ahead and see what Fox has to say regards.
Fox News alert. As we reported at the top of the show, Hamas reportedly agreeing to release all hostages as part of President Trump's deal. Let's go to Greg Palcott for the latest details. Greg?
Hey, Will, that is absolutely true. They initially had said that they would agree to the handing over of the hostages, both dead and alive, Israeli individuals that they'd been holding for almost 2 years now. They also agreed on the surface to hand over power to another entity in Gaza Strip. But Will, I think we were very good in being careful about this announcement because we are getting more details. In fact, what they are now saying, Hamas, quoted by Reuters through also the Al Jazeera television network, is that yes, they will hand over the hostages, but under the details of the plan that President Trump has provided, it is not going to be within 72 hours. Also, this entity that is being handed over, that the Gaza Strip is being handed over to, would have to include in some way Hamas, at least in the negotiation stage, and that's something that President Trump and Israel have not wanted. Basically, the deadline was for Sunday for Hamas to agree to a 20-point deal. And what they've really just agreed to now is to negotiate on that deal. Now, frankly, the ball is back in the White House court. Back to you.
I can see how that ball is back in the White House court because the question becomes now, do they negotiate, or has Hamas just rejected a non-negotiable deal, in which case President Trump said the situation would be that Israel would be turned loose on Hamas at the end of that timeline. We're about to find out the truth. Thanks for that update, Greg Palcott. Hey,
So, yeah, I mean, this seems like it could fumble. I mean, then again, it's like our adversaries, Russia. What did they do right after our negotiations? They attacked Ukraine with drones. And, yeah, I mean, it's in the back room, there's something going on that Putin didn't like, and as a result, one day everything was all happy-go-lucky, then the next day he attacks. So I'm afraid this is what could happen to Hamas. I mean, out of the sudden, they said, yeah, we'll release the hostages, but it has to be in our terms. But it looks like this is a step in the right direction. Obviously, we're not going to get a peace, an end to this conflict immediately. It doesn't look like, but we are getting the hostages back. And eventually, I think we're going to try to create a peace deal. So it says, pardon me, I have a cough. Hamas accepts Trump's plan to end the war, but with conditions. And it really does, of course, involve specifically, I don't know what to say. It has to involve Hamas's terms and Israel's terms. They have to appease both. And here's the thing also. We're not going to get an Israeli victory. It's become quite clear. We're not going to get a Hamas victory for sure. Hamas has become quite destroyed, and that's why I'm just saying Israel continuing to fight this war is just so stupid. They're just destroyed. But Hamas, they have those underground tunnels. They're thriving, obviously. So, yeah, I think this is probably what's going to end up happening. I really want this conflict to end. I've explained my frustrations. I'm done with the stupid protests. I'm done with the communists. I'm done with Israel just begging for help and begging for money like Ukraine and Zelensky. I am done with that. I'm done. And it's time to enact real change. So we're going to have to see how this ends up playing out. But what do you guys think in regards to this video? Let me know down below. And as always, I'll see you all in the next political episode.